Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I'm making a sewing machine wig. I'm going to show you the tools and products that I'm using along the way. I start off by putting the dome cap on to the mannequin head. This is actually a prestige head and I got it when I was doing a wig making class, but nowadays you can find a lot of these on Amazon for much cheaper. I stretch the dome cap just a little bit and attach the T-pins. This way the dome cap is stretched out. It's not going to be too tight once I finish sewing, and also it stays on the hairdressing head. Please excuse my hair and my hairline. I'm in my house. It's lockdown part 4. I have nowhere to go, hence why my hairstyle is old and I'm just leaving it for now. I'll deal with it later. So moving on to the hair, I will confirm all the details about my hair later on. I'm actually testing out a vendor that I've been with since January 2019, and eventually I want to start selling my own hair extensions and my own hair services. So I'll make a video on that later on. So far I do like the hair. It's good hair, and I will do a lineup of the different wigs that I've made with this hair that I'm testing out from the vendor so far. I've done one that is kinky, I've done one that's straight, and now I'm on to the tight loose wave. So to begin, you want to measure out your closure, draw a line around the closure, make sure it's nice and neat and straight. You can use a permanent marker, you can use chalk or fabric chalk, an old lipstick pen, an old eyeliner, anything that you have on hand really. This technique is good for staying organized, staying structured, making sure that the wig comes out right and the lines are not too close together or not too far apart. I've been using this technique since I started making wigs, way back when, even before I started using the sewing machine. So it's a good tip for beginners so you can be nice and neat and organized. Now I'm doing horizontal lines going across the dome cap, and I start in the center and then work my way to the left and then to the right. It doesn't matter if you start on the left or right first, but I would definitely recommend drawing the lines in the center first. And I'm using 1-inch spacing with my horizontal lines, and I follow a horseshoe method. This horseshoe method works well for me. It makes sure that the hair doesn't fall into my face. I would prefer that the hair falls at the side of my face.
It's getting late, wanna fade away into the ocean waves. I don't wanna stay carrying this weight that will never go away. Are we falling deep or are we just pretending? Would you stay with me if the world was ending? Are we meant to be?
Now I'm going in to show you the type of hair that I'm using. It took 2 weeks and 1 day for my package to arrive due to COVID, and I'm just gonna continue by sewing the track together. Sewing the track together ensures fullness of the wig, and it also saves time, because then you don't have to work with lots and lots of single tracks, especially if you have to cut and then sew or cut and then glue.
Letting go, yeah, it isn't easy. Two hearts slowly breaking, living the highs and lows. I'm keeping busy. Don't know if we're worth saving. Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending?
And this is what the track looks like when it's sewn together. I use the zigzag stitch. And I forgot to mention earlier, but I'm using a Brother sewing machine. I'll leave the details down below in the description box. And the setting that I'm using is a number 4. And on this day I was having problems with my sewing machine, but I made it work. You just have to have a lot of patience and, you know, keep trying, keep practicing, maybe even take a break and come back to it.
Are we falling deep, or are we just pretending? Would you stay with me if the world was ending? Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending? Letting go, yeah, it isn't easy. Two hearts slowly breaking, living the highs and lows.
Also guys, when I use the sewing machine, I do stretch the cap just a tiny little bit because the line needs to be straight. I don't want to sew the cap on top of itself. I don't want to sew the weft on the previous weft. So you do have to make sure that you're making the cap neat, following the lines as guides, and so that when you finish making the wig overall, it's not too tight and constricted on your head. And I could sew everything on, including the closure, with the sewing machine. I've done that in the past, but in today's video I'll be sewing the closure on by hand. So when I get to the top, I'm just going to do 2 lines going across instead of the horseshoe shape. And that's right before I get to the closure. Another tip is to double stitch or triple stitch the ends of each weft so that it's more secure on the dome cap, especially if these are wigs that you're going to make and sell to clients. Now I'm just going to measure and attach the closure with some T-pins, and I measure it in the same way that I did in the beginning. You want a little piece of the lace to come over the dome cap. I use cotton thread to sew the lace down, but you can use nylon thread or whatever thread you have.
Letting go, yeah, it isn't easy. Two hearts slowly breaking, living the highs and lows. I'm keeping busy. Don't know if we're worth saving. Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending?
And I sew the closure down using the technique of left to right, and then finally the back, and this way it sews down nice and neat and there's no lumps and bumps or gaps.
It's getting late, wanna fade away into the ocean waves. I don't wanna stay carrying this weight that will never go away. Are we falling deep, or are we just pretending? Would you stay with me if the world was ending? Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending?
And now I'm adding the final track around the closure. I'm not allowing it to touch the closure, just in case 1 month, 2 months or 3 months down the line I want to change the closure out for a new one. And this is a good way to do it, because then you won't damage or interrupt the flow of the cap or the existing tracks or the existing sewing.
Letting go, yeah, it isn't easy. Two hearts slowly breaking, living the highs and lows. I'm keeping busy. Don't know if we're worth saving. Are we meant to be, or are we second guessing? Would you stay with me if the world was ending?
Now I'm just using a pick and in shear, a zigzag scissors, to cut off the lace. I've been using the scissors on and off for 1 year now, so I'm just going to continue to test it out just to see how much I really like it. And now I'm going to cut the excess dome cap away, leaving enough fabric so that in future I can replace the closure if and when needed. This is what it's looking like inside. Next, I measure my head and I'm attaching the elastic band to the inside of the wig by the side of the closure. And you can see a demo of that now for better understanding. And I like to use the wide elastic band rather than the thin narrow ones because the wide ones don't give you a headache.
Letting go, yeah, it isn't easy.
You have finished attaching the elastic band to your wig cap. You can then go ahead and add some wig clips for more security. However, I do not like to do this. I think that wig clips cause hair breakage and I don't use them. So this is what the inside of my wig will look like. I've left spacing at the bottom. If you can see, I missed a line, so that this way I'll have more room, more stretch, and the wig will be able to fit me. This is the end results. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.